What's something your father did that split the family up? I was 12 when I found the birthday card. Dad had left it sitting on his dresser while he packed for another weekend work trip. To my sweet girl, happy 10th, love Daddy. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for my sister Katie either. She was 14 and way past getting cards like that. I tried telling myself it was for a coworker's kid or something. Dad sold insurance and was always going to conferences, but something felt wrong. The handwriting looked too personal. The way he wrote sweet girl made my stomach twist. The next time Dad said he was going out of town, I asked if I could come along. He ruffled my hair and said no. Too much work. Too boring. Just meetings about policy changes and sales numbers. But after he left, I grabbed the old iPad and opened Find My iPhone. His phone was supposed to be at the Marriott downtown. Instead, it was in Millbrook, some tiny town an hour away. I told Mom I was sleeping over at Jake's house, took my allowance money and caught the Greyhound bus to Millbrook. The whole ride, I kept hoping I was wrong. Maybe his phone was broken. Maybe he really was at some different hotel for work. But when I got there and found the address, everything fell apart. Dad was sitting on the front steps of a little blue house. Next to him was a girl with pigtails, maybe 10 years old. She was laughing at something he said. Then a woman came out. Brown hair, pretty smile. She sat down next to Dad and he kissed her. Not a quick peck, a real kiss, like he kissed Mom. The little girl called him Daddy. I hid behind a car and took pictures with the iPad. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped it. Dad lifted the girl up and spun her around. She squealed with happiness. The woman wrapped her arms around both of them. They looked like a perfect little family, just not our family. I caught the next bus home and didn't say anything. For a whole week, I carried those pictures around like they were burning a hole in my pocket. Dad came home Sunday night talking about his boring conference, how the hotel food was terrible, how he missed us. Mom made his favorite dinner and he told jokes that made Katie laugh. I wanted to scream. The next Friday at dinner, Dad started talking about his upcoming trip to Chicago. Another conference, more policy meetings. Katie was telling him about her volleyball game. Mom was asking if he needed her to pack anything special. That's when I slid the iPad across the table. What's this? Dad asked, looking at the screen. That's your other family? I said. The room went dead silent. Mom stopped chewing. Katie dropped her fork. Dad's face went completely white. Nico, what are you talking about? Mom's voice was barely a whisper. I swiped to the next picture. Dad kissing the woman, then another one. Him carrying the little girl on his shoulders. I followed you to Millbrook, I said. You lied about Chicago. You lied about everything. Dad tried to grab the iPad, but I pulled it back. It's not what it looks like, he stammered. I can explain. This is complicated. You don't understand. What don't I understand? I was crying now, but I didn't care. That you have another daughter? That you've been lying to us for years? Mom still hadn't said anything. She just sat there staring at the pictures. Her face was like stone. How long? She finally asked. Dad opened his mouth, but nothing came out. How long? Mom asked again, louder this time. 5 years, he whispered. Katie screamed. Actually screamed. You've been cheating on Mom for 5 years? While we were here eating dinner and doing homework and missing you, you were playing house with some other family? It just happened, Dad said. I never meant for it to go this far. I love you all. I love this family. But you love them too, I said. He couldn't deny it. The look on his face said everything. Mom stood up very slowly and walked upstairs. We heard the bedroom door slam. Dad tried to follow her, but she had locked it. He pounded on the door, begging her to let him explain. She never answered. The next morning, Mom called a lawyer. But the worst part wasn't the divorce. The worst part was Katie. She was furious at me. Not at Dad. At me. You destroyed everything, she screamed at me 2 days later. We could have been happy. Why couldn't you just mind your own business? He was cheating on Mom, I said. How is that my fault? Because now everything's ruined. Mom cries all the time. Dad's moving out. And for what? So you could feel like some hero? Katie moved in with Dad after the divorce was final. She said she couldn't stand living in a house full of bitterness and betrayal. She meant me. I was the bitterness and betrayal. That was 2 years ago. Katie still won't talk to me.